Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now today we're having a look at some minimal items from a company called Wayfinder. They got in touch a few months back and asked if I'd like to have a look at their products. They were a fan of my channel and was aware that I really like minimalist style wallets. So yeah, of course, I jumped at the chance because I thought these were things that definitely you guys would like to have a look at. So let's turn the camera around and take a closer look. Now I do apologise if you can hear the wind noise. It has picked up a little bit, but I made a rod for my own back when I decided that I'd like to film more stuff outside. But what we're going to have a look at, there's quite a few different items. Initially you might look at and think there's just a couple here, but there's definitely a few more items all within this kind of dual setup that I have. I'd like to think that Wayfinder are one of those kind of one-stop shops where you can go to and you can pick up several different items that all have the same look and feel, so that you can kind of create a carry from all of their items. Or if you want to, you can just go and pick one of the items up and then you can build that into your EDC. But when they asked if I'd like to have a look at them, first thing that came that I spotted on the website was this. So this is the Flux card holder. I'm a huge fan of minimalist wallets and I talk about these all day and long, but for me it's just being able to reduce back the amount that you carry. Here, which is probably a worst case scenario for me, this is your average kind of leather billfold. I'm not going to go into who, this was just one that I randomly picked. It was the first one that I found on Amazon. When you put these next to each other, you can see that the footprint on a minimalist wallet is a whole lot smaller. The main difference is when you turn these over like this. So as it stands, this has got 6 cards in here, which is exactly the amount of cards that I'd carry on a daily basis. This has no cards in here. This is completely empty at this point. And that's the beauty of a minimalist wallet, and why, for me personally, I find that moving from a traditional bulky wallet, moving over to a minimalist wallet has really helped my daily carry, I guess. Obviously, you're not really going to end up with, I suppose maybe some people might have to go to the chiropractor having to have one of these in the pockets, but with one of these, you certainly don't have that issue. Now, as far as the measurements on this are concerned, so if I take, so this is a dummy card from an average sized. These are card blanks. Then you can see on here just how big this is compared to an average size card. The actual measurements, so this comes in at 67mm by 110mm, and when it is empty, if I take these cards out for a second and just put those there, when it is empty, all of that just kind of flattened down together is just 4.3mm. And it really is tiny when there's no cards in here. The grammage on this is just 16 grams. It's crazy just how light it is. The difference between these is almost day and night. The way that they've been able to do that is the material that this is made from. So this is made from a polymer coated high tenacity nylon, which comes in about which is a 420D nylon. So it's ridiculously tough. They've also been able to use a new form of, I was going to say stitching then, but that completely goes against what this actually is. So rather than using stitching that goes around the outside that you traditionally get with a wallet like this, instead, what it uses is RF welding. So RF welding is almost like a subsonic, supersonic. I don't know the exact what it is, but what it does is it manages to create a frequency that allows the actual material to completely bond with itself. So this is bonded at a molecular level, to make sure that it's on there just as fast as you would possibly get if you wanted to stitch it. Now these are designed for up to 11 cards. Now, as I mentioned, so I carry 6 cards. Sorry. So here in the front, I call this the front mainly just because it says Wayfarer here on the front. So that will be my bank card, my debit card that I use the most. Here in the back, so the way that this is set up, so that it's very similar to a traditional card holder, where you have a front pocket, you have a rear pocket, and then you have a pocket in the middle here. So on the back, this is where I keep my ID, my driving license, and then in the middle I then have 4 additional cards. So these are cards that I just simply don't use as much as maybe some of the other cards, and that's it. That is my 6 card minimal carry. Now some of you at this point might be thinking, well, what about things like data security and RFID card readers and keeping your stuff safe. Now what you may have noticed is, while I was putting these cards in, so these are the 3 extra cards that I usually carry, but then there is also one of these additional cards. So if I hold this up, because it's got a nice kind of sheen to it, I like how it does that. So another item from Wayfinder, this is the glitch data blocking card. So the way in which this works is, this will block all of the RFID signals from around it. Now, as mentioned, with that kind of one-stop shop, if you wanted to build all of this, it's useful just to go and pick up one of these anyway, mainly because if you have a wallet that isn't RFID blocking, then you can just simply put this in there, then anything within 5 centimeters of this will be blocked. So all of the cards in the front, all of the cards in the rear, and then as I mentioned, so all I'll do is I'll just stack that with these cards. But the way in which it works is, so built into this, there's actually a copper aerial that's within here, and that's what helps to disrupt those signals. And then, yeah, you know, it just slides in like that. So that's what you could help to use to protect the data that's within here. Now, an extra little part about which I forgot to mention about this material. So the material this is made from, as mentioned, it's a polymer coated high tenacity nylon fabric. But to add to its credentials, to its toughness as well, this is also resistant to things like chemicals, to heat, and ultraviolet as well, which are things which will, over time, for other things like a leather wallet, these are things that will degrade them. These are things that will make their colour change ever so slightly over time. Now you will find, now I don't know if you'd call it, I guess it is kind of a patina, but if I bring this up, hopefully we can keep this in focus, but what you'll see is there's just kind of a almost a patinaing around the outside. That's because there's almost kind of a grain to it. I don't know if you call it a grain, but if I let me bring this up to the microphone. Hopefully you can hear that whilst I do that. So what you find is just like bits of skin, little bits like that. That's what these parts are. It's not actually the material that gets dirty, but what you can do is, if you just use some mild soap, then yeah, you can brush that off if that's important to you. Personally, I don't mind. I like that it looks like it's got a little bit of dust on it, and that it kind of wears over time. So yeah, so there's actually 2 items in this one. There's the wallet, and then there's the glitch card in there as well. Now, similar to this one, so this was one of the other items that I spotted on the website and asked if they'd mind that they sent me as well, and they were more than happy to. So what we have here, this is the Borderless passport or notebook holder. I guess it's dependent on how you want to use this. So recently, while I was in Germany, I used this to carry my passport in. But on a daily basis, because I don't want to take my passport everywhere with me, then you can put one of their Let's Go forest notepads in here. So I'm just going to take the notepad out for a second so that we can have a look at the actual sleeve that it goes into itself. Again, so as far as the measurements are concerned with this, it comes in at 140 by 98 by just 7 millimeters thick. The reason that this one is so thin is because with this one, if you think, so you've got 4 plies of that material, and it's the same polymer coated high tenacity nylon that the Flux is made from. So it's got a bit of flop to it, but again, I think in the grand scheme of things, if you're putting a notepad or you're putting other items into here, then that's great. It doesn't particularly need to be that rigid. Having had this in my back pocket, yeah, I mean, it just fits in there. I think I like the fact that it has got a bit of flop to it, because when you sit on it, it will just naturally bend. Now when I open it up like this, so on the left hand side here, so that's what I call the front, because again the name's on here. I'll open this up. So on the left hand side here, you can put some cards in here. Oh, how did those Moorlander EDC business cards get in there? Crazy. But you can fit between, it says between, what does it say? I think it says 6 to 8 cards, or 4 to 6 cards. Yeah, 4 to 6 cards that you can fit in here. So you can, yeah, I've got it set up here with just one. And then on the right hand side here, you have the sleeve in which you can put in your passport. Now, as I mentioned, so at this moment in time, because I'm not carrying my passport, one of the other items that you can pick up from Wayfinder are their Let's Go Forest Notepads. These are really nice. So when you open these up, now as far as the size of these is concerned, these are classed as the passport size, which for the people that like notepads and those sort of things, it's a B7 size notebook. And yeah, so this one has the dot matrix in there, which you can use as lines. When you pick these up, you can either buy them singularly or you buy them as packs of 3, I believe, so that you can save a little bit on them. I have got the one that I'd scribbled in a lot, but there was a lot of immature drawings in there, and there was also some notes from my work, which unfortunately I can't show. But I have the pack of 3, so here you can see nice and new, with some little bits in here as far as different forests and parks through North America, and also some forests and parks around the rest of the world as well. So really nice. I think all in all, having a nice kind of setup like this, and then if you're wanting to build on this with some other items, then they're a good shop that you can pick up all of those. Or as I mentioned, if you just want to go in and pick up a wallet, and again, compared to the likes of one of these old-fashioned ones, minimal items, yeah, they really are the future. Well, I'm sure at this point you've probably garnered from my enthusiasm how much I like these products. I'm a massive fan of minimalist style items, especially the Humble Wallet. I've probably mentioned quite a bit today that just being able to reduce down the amount and just having a decent think about what you need, what you don't need. Do you need all of this extra stuff that you've always carried because you just kind of have to, and kind of stripping some of that back. I think it's a good way to kind of start to organize your pocket. But then with some of the other items that you can attach to this to build yourself this really nice minimalist carry, yeah, very impressed with the items that Wayfinder have sent to me. Now, of course, as I'll usually do, I'll leave some links below so that you can see more from these. I want to say a huge thank you to the team at Wayfinder for sending these to me. I'll leave some of my social media links below as well, so that you can follow me here on Moorlander EDC and also my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. But for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. It is a little bit windy outside, and you know, I make a rod for my own back, always liking to film outside. Okay, so yeah, so as very blustery today. That was a perfectly timed gust of wind. If you're after one of those kind of one-stop style shops that you can go to pick up a few things, that's what we can have a look at as part. No. I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander EDC. Today, work perfectly well together. Now, the one thing that immediately attracted me to them was their wallet. If I'd like to have a look at the products, they said that they've been following my channel for quite some time, and they'd certainly like me to kind of help. No,